Yes. Right. So basically, we have summarized already as a SQL Server DBA, our job is what? Maintenance, right? So database and database server maintenance is our job. First point we have seen as a DBA, database server maintenance. First point we have seen. That's why regularly see like as a DBA as part of our job. Daily we have to work with here monitoring and troubleshooting. Okay, so regularly here we have to monitor the issues. We have to troubleshoot the problems here regularly. Okay, yes. So second point we have seen SQL Server. SQL Server is a RDBMS product developed by Microsoft, right? So what we can do with SQL Server, we can create and manage databases, right? So we can create and manage databases as well as SQL Server supports BI features also, business intelligence features with the help of SSIS, SSRS, SSAS, BI features, business intelligence features. So, but remember as a core DBA, most of the times we have to work with what? Databases, but sometimes they will ask the knowledge of SSIS and SSRS also in some scenarios. Okay, but regularly as a core DBA, our job is what? To work with database server. Okay, yeah. So we have to work with what? Collection of databases. Okay, as a core DBA. Right, right. So let's remember some basic knowledge of SSIS, SSRS, just what is what. It is added advantage for us. Okay, right. Maybe like in 2-3 days, you can just learn theoretically what is SSIS, what is SSRS. So then it will be added advantage for us. I think last class I have shown you. So one of my client is still even today also they are asking the database administrator with some basic knowledge of SSIS and SSRS. Right. Then after that, sir, we have summarized that every RDBMS supports two parts SQL and non-procedural part plus procedural part. Same thing, similar like that SQL Server. SQL Server also here supports one is here SQL part, which is non-procedural part. Non-procedural part means what? It is not a programming part. Second one is here like T-SQL is there, which is a procedural part. So which is a programming part. Let's remember like in SQL Server, we have T-SQL is a transact structured query language, which is called native programming language of SQL Server, T-SQL. Native programming language of SQL Server. So actually remember like SQL Server supports like one more option like CLR integration also from SQL Server 2005 onwards here. Now our developers team can write the programs with .NET languages also. Okay. So SQL Server developers can write programs with .NET languages also. But remember, like whenever they are writing the program, like stored procedure, function, trigger, okay, with .NET languages, okay, that program is executed with the help of a CLR, right? Common Language Runtime. CLR is what? Common language runtime through which our programs are executed. Right, right. So that's why remember, like as a database admin, our job is here after installing SQL Server, we have to enable this option CLR feature. We have to enable. Check here in SQL Server, we have one stored procedure is there. Observe here, SP configure. Okay, by using this stored procedure, remember, we can enable, we can disable the SQL Server features. Okay, one of a configuration stored procedure. Okay, we can configure here any feature of SQL Server. Right. Check here, like here CSPs are there, stored procedures are there, system procedures are there. Check here once we connect to SQL Server. Previous day we have seen already to connect and work with SQL Server. We are using one tool called SQL Server Management Studio. Right. I will show you how to install. No need to worry. Just here after installing, we can search for SSMS. It is showing here Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Through this Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, we can connect and work with SQL Server through SSMS. And basically, remember, it is a free tool, okay, through which we can connect and work with SQL Server in production environment. Okay, right. Check here. This is my server name, test SQL connect, connected successfully. And we have seen that already we can connect to the local server as well as we can connect to the remote server also. If you see green icon, it is a local server we have seen, okay, which is there in my laptop. If you are connecting remote server through IP address here, static IP, we can see here question mark. See here, right? So if you see question mark, it is a remote server actually. If you see here question mark, it is a remote server. That is like we can understand here whether we are working with local server or remote server. We can check here. See. Okay. Right. Right. So see here, like most of the activities, remember, we can perform directly by right clicking here graphically, or by using the query also we can work with here. If I say new query, now here by using the command also we can work with. Already we have seen, if you want to see right now we are working with which version, select at the rate version. Always remember, select the command and execute. Here 2019 version it is saying. In the same way, like this, say like what is the server name? Server name it is saying test SQL. Okay. So actually remember, FRR info is my system name or host name, slash test SQL is my instance name. Generally, remember, whenever we are installing SQL Server one time, we are calling it as one instance. Understood, right? Instance is nothing but what? One copy of SQL Server. This is host name slash instance name. That combinedly we are calling it as server name. That's why we can check separately also here, select server property, machine name here. My system name is here, FRR info. The same way, select server property, instance name here, test SQL. Test SQL here, instance name. Right. So in the same way, we have seen that SQL Server supports two types of working environments, right? Standalone environment and cluster environment. In case of a standalone environment, remember single production server is there. All are connected with the same server. In case of a standalone environment. Whereas in case of cluster environment, remember, cluster is nothing but a group of servers, right? So cluster is basically, remember, a group of servers which are connected to each other for medium and large scale applications like e-commerce applications, 24/7 applications. Compulsory we have to go with what? Cluster environment. Compulsory we have to go with what? Cluster environment. That's remember both types of environments are supported today. Standalone environment as well as what? Cluster environment. So we'll work with both here as a database administrator. We have to work with both types of environments. I will show you in this, So yeah, in this course, we'll see both working environments, we'll see both standalone and cluster environments we'll discuss as part of our course practically. Okay, right. So that's like two types of working environments, standalone and cluster environment. Okay, right. So check here, like we have seen whether we are working in standalone or cluster just by right clicking on server name properties. We can check here, see is clustered false it is saying. Means right now I am working in standalone environment right now, for example. Okay, so previous day we have I have shown you one of my server is there. In that we have set up cluster also. Yeah, so by using the command also we have seen we can check select server property is clustered. Right, this is a false it is link, means it is a standalone environment. Okay, right. Once again remember in this server like test SQL. See here, our instance name is what? Test SQL. In this server, like let's say in this server, I want to see how many databases are there in this server. Check here to check the number of databases currently in the server. We have sp help db command is it. By using help db commands here, we can see the databases here. Master model msdb mdb. One hidden database is the resource database is there. So total is here by default whenever we install SQL Server, automatically 5 system databases are created. We'll see that one more hidden database, why it is hidden database later. Understood, right? By default, whenever we install SQL Server, automatically 5 system databases are created automatically. Okay, so only system databases are there. Check here, no user databases are there. Just it is a fresh instance. Mornings here, I have installed this SQL Server, which is a fresh instance actually. Only we have user, only system databases are there. There are no user databases. Okay, again here if I want to see only this particular database details, just same command, we can say sp help db master. See, okay, this master database here current size, okay, when it was created, database id is 1 actually. How many files are there for this database? 2 files are there here, mdf file and ldf file. That, like this here we can see the information, we can check it. Actually what I'm saying indirectly, by using say stored procedures, we can set something as well as we can monitor also by using what? Stored procedures. Same thing, yeah, to configure any settings here, our server level settings. Just now we have seen sp configure, stored procedure is there here. So these are the various configuration options it is showing. By default, observe 25 options it is showing, say 25 rows. In that set, one option is there CLR enable. check here, minimum value 0 means we can apply either 0 or 1. Okay, so run value is 0. These are your applicable values actually, but run value is what? Current value. Current value 0 means feature is in disable mode. Generally remember 01 means enable disable. For example, currently it is showing here 0 means feature is there in disable mode actually. Okay, yes, okay, right. So that's why we have to understand here. Right now this feature is not enabled. Means what? Now our SQL engine, can run .NET programs, or it cannot execute .NET programs. Now our SQL engine, just remember, it cannot execute. Why? Because this feature is in disable mode, right? Yes, only T-SQL programs or SQL engine can run now. That is the reason, remember, CLR feature is installed automatically, but it is there in disable modes here by default, right? Run value 0 means feature is in disable mode. We have to enable these features here. Same thing by passing this comma 1 here, 1 reconfigure. We can enable the features here by saying comma 1. 1 for enabled, here see 0 for disabled. Actually, sir, if I run this command without this reconfigure, only this config value is affected, run value is not affected. Okay, to make same config value as run value, we have to use a reconfigure. Check here, if I run this command, it is saying very clearly, change from 0 to 1. Now we can see again, SP configure, check here, CLR. See, both the values are updated now to 1, 1. Just we have to understand, remember, always we have to see this run value. If the run value is 1, we have to understand that feature is in enabled state. If we want to see only this feature, we can see also by running up to here. Okay, so only this feature we can list out. Okay, run value is 1, feature is in enabled mode. If we want to disable again, just remember we have to say 0, same command. Okay, again I am making 0 means what? We are disabling the features here by making 0. Okay, right. So that is like how we can enable or disable the server level features by using this SP. Graphically also we can enable or disable. Check here, if I right click on server name, facets, one option is there here. Facets. It's taking some time. So by using this facet option also, remember, we can enable or disable the CLR feature. Any feature means what we can do with SP configure, same we can do with help graphically by using this facets options here. Okay, right. It's taking time. Yeah, like this here, like meanwhile, we can enable here to enable CLR, common language runtime. We have used this stored procedures here, SP configure. We can write in any uppercase or lowercase, any letters actually. CLR enabled, comma 1, reconfigure. Now here it has opened. So check here, facet equal to surface area configuration. Here see second option is a CLR integration enabled true. Why? Because already right now it is in enabled state, right? Yes. So we can make it false also here. Okay. Now if I check this feature again, execute. Now here feature is in disabled mode. So what I'm saying, indirectly both the options are there by using Yes, we configure, reconfigure, we can enable or disable, or by using what? By using facets option, also we can enable or disable the features here. Okay, right. So that is like yeah, two programming options are there in SQL Server. We have to understand now. One is T-SQL, second one is .NET languages. Clear, right? Yeah, please feel free to type if any simple queries are there in the chat panel. No need to hesitate. If any simple doubts are there, you can use the chat panel here. You can type in the chat panel. Immediately, I will try to answer. Okay. Yes. If any simple doubts are there, you can, yeah, feel free to type. Yeah. Thank you very much, Ramchandra Murthy. So, any questions are there, please? No need to worry. Privately also, you can message me, or by selecting everyone also, you can message. Okay. So if any simple doubts are there, feel free to type in the chat panel. When Gopal Reddy, yes, thank you. Vamsi, any questions are there? Anil, yeah, if any simple doubts are there, always welcome. Already have said, like we can make the session as interactive session. No need to just keep on listening. If any simple doubt is it, what is facet option? Yeah, facet option is it like actually the surface area configuration is there in 2000 old versions. Now we have facet option is it. Means like yeah, face yeah means like SQL Server features we can enable or disable. Means whatever the options we whatever the features we can do with SP configure to disable enable as well as to configure memory. Same thing here we have facet option is there. Okay. So graphically if you want to enable or disable the features. Right. Paraprasad, any questions are there? Uday, Kishore, Chandrasekhar. Uh, Abhishek is saying, confused on creating name for server. Server name, yeah. Server name, remember, we can mention actually, means while installing SQL Server, it will ask actually instance name. Okay, so in the instance name, we can mention with what name, yeah, we need to install SQL Server. Yeah, just we have to enter the instance name. Like generally, we can mention here like SBI loans, like HDFC cards. Depends on the usage of the instance name, but we can provide the instance name. Okay. The same way, remember, while installing yeah, SQL Server, in general, remember like this instance name is yeah, generally remember the installation checklist actually. So they will send us installation checklist actually. Yeah, as part of installation checklist, remember we can see the yeah, they will mention very clearly we have to install SQL Server with what name. With the same name we can install. Okay. Then we have since like SQL Server supports like two types of working environments. Okay, one is what standalone environment is it for small scale applications. Second one is what cluster environment. So up to here, see, we have discussed here in the previous class. Right, right. Let's say we'll continue again. Already we have seen SQL Server is a RDBMS product. These points we have discussed already. Yes. So every RDBMS supports here procedural and non-procedural part. So procedural part is the programming part actually. Right. SQL Server supports two types of working environments we have seen. Standalone environment as well as what? cluster environment. Right, standalone is for small scale applications, cluster is for medium and large scale applications. We have seen that after connecting to server, we can identify whether we are working in standalone or cluster environment by running this simple command. Okay. Yeah, I think already have seen the course content, what we are going to discuss as part of our course. Last time also, previous class also I have shared you. Okay, so basically like once again, here just what main concepts we'll see, installations and configurations we'll see, database architecture, what is data file, log file, how the transactions are working we'll see, common issues we'll discuss. Security features, we'll see how to create users, how to grant permissions, everything. So backup restores, we'll see how to automate also. Why? Because in production server, remember, manually we are not going to take backups, right? All these are, remember, automated activities, scheduled activities actually. Manually we are not taking backups. All these are what? Scheduled activities. So that's why, like how we are scheduling these tasks, we'll discuss here as part of this course. Then generally for automation, remember, we'll create jobs, maintenance plans will create actually for automation. Jobs and maintenance plans will create actually as part of what? Automation. So we'll see that one, how we are automating by using say jobs and maintenance plans. Okay, right. In the same way, like we'll see here, see like what are the high availability features are there. Basically, we have seen high availability features we can use to minimize the downtime. Okay, means what? Like we can maintain the standby servers, okay, with high availability features. Even like tomorrow production server is crashed, production database is crashed. If network related issues are there, no problem. Immediately we can bring the secondary database online so that users can continue their work. Okay, so that is like high availability features are there here. We'll see here. We'll work with log shipping, database mirroring, always on all the concepts I will show you practically with the troubleshooting, common issues troubleshooting. So performance tuning we'll see, clustering we'll discuss, monitoring and troubleshooting. All the features we'll see how we are monitoring and what are the common issues, migrations and upgradations. Some of their main concepts of our course. Already it is there, detailed list is there, course content is there already. Okay, we can go through that. Right. In general, say like whenever the user makes any transaction, generally we have seen, as a end user, we can open some app. Okay, it may be mobile app or some web application. Whenever we make some transaction, first remember request is submitted to web server, right? Or where our website is present. Okay, so then remember this web server is submitting request to our SQL server in the background. This SQL server, we are calling it as what? Production server. Okay, so that's remember the application server or web servers are connected to what? Production server. Then remember this production server works with the data present in the database, right? Data is there actually in the database. So by using which command? SQL commands, right? That's why we have to understand. SQL server, SQL and SQL server, both are same or different? SQL and SQL server, both are same or different? Both are different, right? Yes. Why? Because SQL is what? Yeah, SQL is a common database language which is supported by every RDBMS, whereas SQL Server is what? One of a RDBMS product. See, like SQL Server is like mobile phone, SQL is like SIM card. Just for basic understanding, we have to understand here. So that's why SQL is part of what? SQL Server. Okay, every RDBMS. Tomorrow we are working with Oracle or SQL Server or Sybase. Every RDBMS supports which commands? SQL commands, right? Which is a common database language supported by every RDBMS. Okay, right, right. So just here, this is my production server. Yeah, which is working with the data present in the database. But suddenly tomorrow, like this server crash, for example, our database is down, or if network related issue is there, for example, how these applications continue working, right? Yeah, immediately remember application is down. If application is down, users cannot continue their work, right? If users are not able to continue their work, immediately we have to understand business loss is there to our client, right? If users are unable to connect and work with, so then remember business loss is there to our client. That's why to avoid this, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that yeah, to avoid this issue, remember, like to avoid these downtime problems, compulsory we have to maintain what? Secondary servers. Means what? Whatever the changes are made in this production copy, same changes are automatically maintained here in secondary servers or standby servers as it is copy. As it is copy. Okay. Tomorrow, if this production server is down, or database is down, or network is down, immediately we'll make this secondary server or standby server, yeah, yeah, available to the applications. So application will continue their transactions with the help of these secondary servers here, right? Yes, yeah. So that is like we have to understand here, like secondary servers. Why we need what? Secondary servers, right? Secondary servers are compulsory for us in most of the scenarios here. Compulsory we have to maintain. Secondary servers are standby servers, right? Right. So, yeah, let's see, like we can, what is the purpose of say secondary servers? And we have seen SQL Server support some high availability features here, right? Like log shipping, DB mirroring, always on. By using these high availability features, remember, we can maintain as it is copy of database in secondary servers here, same copy, database to database copy. Just remember one point we'll see later, we'll discuss in detail practically. So in case of log shipping, remember logs are nothing but what? Changes. Shipping means transferring. Transferring, right? Change logs are what? Changes. Whatever the changes are made in production database copy, same they are transferred into what? Secondary server or standby server automatically. See, all these are automated activities. All these are what? Automated activities actually. Mm. But sir, in case of log shipping, major limitations are there. One is, remember, there is no immediate sync, we have seen. So as well as, remember, no automatic failover. Means what? If changes are made in principal primary database, immediately they are not applied to secondary. So as well as, remember, tomorrow if this primary database crash, immediately it will not become primary. Manually we have to bring online. Manually we have to bring this database online here. Okay, means what? downtime is there to the users. Let's say I'm taking 1 hour to bring this database online. So till 1 hour your application is down, users cannot continue their transactions. That's one, but to overcome these problems, now Microsoft has come up with mirroring in 2005 version. Here's in case of mirroring, remember immediate sync is there, as well as we have automatic failover is there in mirroring. Okay, immediate sync and automatic failover means what? Tomorrow if this principal database is down, immediately mirror becomes principal. Okay, automatic, that is called here automatic failover. The same way, if any changes are made in principal database, in seconds, within seconds here, they are applied to mirror. So there is no delay. It means real time. It's meaning indirectly, we'll call it as real time. Immediately changes are applied. Okay, but once again, remember in all mirroring, we have like some limitations are there. So it is one-to-one feature actually. One principal database can have maximum one mirror, one-to-one features here. That is the reason to overcome this problem. Again, Microsoft has come up with always on from 2012 onwards here. So mirroring, we have seen mirroring plus additional features. It is mirroring only plus extra features here. Additional features is always on. Just we have to understand always on is one to many features here. Means what? One principal database can have multiple mirrors. Multiple mirrors. Internal working, everything is same. Similar to mirroring only. Thus remember from SQL Server 2016 onwards, Microsoft has deprecated mirroring. Microsoft has removed mirroring. Now they are asking you use always on. Okay, in the place of mirroring, we have to go with what? Always on. That is like different high availability features are there to maintain as it is copy of database in different server. Yes, check here this total setup is there in data center, which is there at client location actually. This total setup is there in the data center. We are sitting here, see in Hyderabad office or Chennai office. So we are supporting this client. Means what? If anything happen in any server, automatically will get email notifications here. Email notifications. We can use some third-party monitoring tools we can use actually, through which we'll get the email. Or in SQL Server directly one feature is the DB mail. Database mail feature is it. So in that DB mail feature, we can configure DB mail feature. If anything happened, remember tomorrow log shipping fail, mirroring fail, backups fail. Yeah, one query is taking more than 5 minutes time. Okay, so anything happened, remember automatically will get email notification. Generally say like if you are working as a single DBA, directly will get the email to our company mail ID. But if you are working as a if you are working let's say we have team is there 3 members team is there, 5 members team is there. In case of remember we are using ticketing tools, we are using. If you have team, we are using what? Ticketing tools. Like we have various ticketing tools are there in the market. BMC Remedy, HP Service Desk Tool, Unicenter. I think some people may be working with ServiceNow, right? Today, like most of the clients are using one ticketing tool called ServiceNow. Means basically for team coordination purpose. Why? Because in a service-oriented organization like TCS or anything, here, so we have to manage multiple clients, right? Multiple servers. That's why if in any server anything happen, we'll get email here. We can see in the tool, ticketing tool, we can see how many pending tickets are there, how many critical tickets are there. Depends on that, sir, we can start troubleshooting. Let's remember we are using the ticketing tools we are using. The same way, remember, we'll get the ticket, remember, from our setup if anything happen, as well as our application team also will raise the tickets like performance is slow, okay, connectivity issue, downtime issues. All these are your application team also will raise the tickets here. The same way our client also will raise the ticket, but client is not raising ticket directly to our team. They will raise the ticket to front desk team, or we can say L1 team, friend desk team is it. They will prepare the ticket. So depends on the problem. They will prepare the ticket. They will submit to our team. Okay, right, DPA. So like this here from different locations here, from different places, we are getting what tickets we are getting. Depends on that we have to plan for troubleshooting. Right. This is here in case of a standalone environment, how the transactions are going on. One production server is there. We can maintain one or more standby servers by using these concepts. And total setup is there at client location. We have seen. We have to connect and work from remotely here. Remotely, we are connecting and working. Okay, right. So previous day already have shown you our client is there. We have different clients are there. One client is there means to my small organization. So this is our company. Okay, so we have different clients are there. Previous day we have seen one of a client is there in Africa. So means like data center is there actually in Africa. We are connecting from here. We are working. Means what if anything happens? Remember, actually data center it is a ministry client. That's why data center is there at the same client location actually. Same client location. So we are working with means if anything happen in that data center, we are connecting and working from here. Remotely, we are connecting and working. Okay, already have said last year, December, November and December, I was there at the client location. We have developed one new software, like here I am sitting here. So yeah, dropout and attendance tracking application. Actually, Save the Children is it one NGO, right? Save the Children. They have supported. So yeah, in the conference I participated. What are the requirements? I have taken the requirements. We have started development. Already it is finished. Now we are doing maintenance activity. Yeah, the last year, like 2018, first time we visited this client. At that time in 2018 also, we have developed one application. 2018 means MS application, the Education Management Information System in 2018. That is like total ministry level application which maintains what total schools, everything. Here see, first time we visited in 2018. Actually, complete setup we have done. This is me. So these are their education minister. So we have purchased the servers here, Dell servers actually in Dubai. We have shifted here to this client location. This is me. Just we have done the server setup along with the training program. Yeah, December 2018. So for this project was supported by UNICEF actually. UNICEF is there, one of the NGO. I think already we are familiar with. So yeah, total like server setup, total we have given the training also on our application, how to use the application. Okay, so means data entry, how to do data entry. Yeah, everything. So still we are supporting this client. Backend all we have said 2017 we are using. That's why servers are there in their data center actually. But we are sitting here in Hyderabad office. We are supporting the client. That's why if anything happen, remember we'll get the email notifications automatically. Right. So the same thing we have seen here. Last point we'll see. We'll conclude the session. We'll continue again. Uh, yeah. So check it like our responsibility is what as a DBA there should be no downtime. Always servers or databases must be available. Means what to avoid downtime we have seen like we can configure high availability features. High availability features. Okay, so by using here high availability features like we can maintain what standby servers here. Standby servers we can maintain. Okay, right. So no security related issues should be there, no data loss. To avoid data loss scenario, remember, we are scheduling backups. We have to schedule. Then no performance related issues should be there, no connectivity issues, installing and configuring SQL Server. Already we have seen installing and configuring is not our regular job, right? Yes. So patching SQL Server, patching is somewhat regular job. Patching is nothing but remember updating SQL Server. Means we can apply the service packs hard fixes, okay, frequently. That is called patching SQL Server. We'll see. Monitoring error logs. Already we have seen anything. Remember in SQL Server, anything happen means tomorrow log shipping fail, backup fail, anything happens, SQL Server will write the errors into these error logs. Check here, like we can go to under managements here, we have SQL Server logs are there. So here see, by opening this current log, we can check here if any errors are there. Okay, if any error is there, it is recorded here. It is a fresh instance, no errors are there. So error number is there, error message is there. Depends on that error number or error message, we can plan for troubleshooting. Just remember, anything happens, SQL Server will write here. Okay, yes, that's why as a DBA, our regular job is troubleshooting. That's why regularly we have to check these error logs. The same way all the scheduled activities are working or not, we have to monitor in general. So generally remember like we are going to schedule set backups everything by using jobs. So here see like under SQL Server agent, we can create the job. We can schedule the activities actually. The same way we have maintenance plans are also there. By using these jobs and maintenance plans, we can schedule the activities. Okay, all these scheduled activities are working or not, we have to verify. So these are the like major responsibilities are there as a database administrator. And here we have different versions are there. Here we have SQL Server, different versions are there. Different versions are there here. One is the like first time it was introduced in 1989, almost all 30 years back. After that, different versions are there, and we know that right now our latest version is a 15.0 version, right? 15.0 version is our latest version, which is our 2019 version. But we have discussed already in production servers, we are using different versions. Still, we have to work with sometimes 2014, with some clients we have 2016, with some clients 2017, like this here. So once the new version is released, immediately we are not working with that version only. We have to work with different versions. We have to understand. Understood, right? Yes, yes. So that is like, yeah, we have to understand here. Already we know once we connect to the SQL server, we can connect and work with SQL server by using what? We can connect and work with SQL server through SSMS, and we can identify right now we are working in which version. Just by seeing this version number, we can see or we have seen we can run this command also to verify we are working with which versions here, right? So simple commands are there. Already have said basic commands, simple commands, just we have to remember if lengthy commands are there, those commands we can maintain in a file. Just we can use copy paste and we can start working with here. No need to by heart the commands. Understood, right? I will share you this extra copy of material already have shown you. So here we have regularly used scripts, everything we have written. You can use these scripts as a soft copy material for monitoring purpose here regularly. All the issues are also there. We'll see. Let's say as part of mirroring, we have all the issues are there. As part of performance tuning, we'll see step by step how to troubleshoot if CPU usage is 100%, memory usage is 100%, how to avoid IO bottlenecks, how to troubleshoot MDB related issues, log file full issues. All those things we'll see here as part of our course. No need to worry. Just we'll go step by step actually. Okay, right, right. Let's say we'll conclude the session here. We'll continue again in the tomorrow's class.